More moves are coming for the New York Knicks as a new report has revealed that after the New York Knicks went out and made a key signing to a young player in Marjon Beauchamp, another move will be coming today, March 4th, for the New York Knicks, and we're going to break that down, why it's happening, and why this is going to have a huge implication on the New York Knicks. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here, and we're going to jump right into things as always. Guys, if you're enjoying the channel, make sure to subscribe if you're part of that 69% that's not yet subscribed to Knicks Digest. This is a place to be for all New York Knicks content and multiple videos a day. You guys don't want to miss out. But let's jump into the video, guys, because, well, here's the thing. We know the New York Knicks just made a big signing in Marjon Beauchamp, who I am a huge fan of, and I think it's an excellent move for the New York Knicks in a general sense. However, they are not done yet, and there are more moves to come for Leon Rose and the New York Knicks as they have to now make another signing. And look, let's just jump into it because this was explained by Knicks insider James L. Edwards, who said the Knicks have till tomorrow if they want to fill their two-way roster spot after Shams Charania reported the signing of Marjon Beauchamp to one of the two vacancies. And it's very interesting. So that has to happen tomorrow in order for the NBA league rules to work. If that doesn't happen, then the Knicks can sign another two-way guy. And that's one less roster spot than the Knicks ultimately could have. So they're going to sign someone tomorrow, effectively. Now, there's been a few names that have been thrown around for that final two-way roster spot. And, well, we know the guy who it's going to be. You guys have all heard of him. He's all been mentioned before on this channel and on basically everywhere else that covers the New York Knicks. And let's just take a look at who that guy is. I'm not going to make you guys wait around. Chris Duarte. As James L. Edwards connected Duarte to the New York Knicks, this is the guy who they're almost certainly going to sign. As Edwards mentioned, Chris Duarte has seen his career decline since a promising rookie year. Most recently, Duarte appeared in just 17 games this season with the Chicago Bulls before being waived. He played only 74 total minutes. Duarte is another big wing who, when at his best, can shoot the ball from deep at a league average clip. He just hasn't shown enough potential to be worth investing in. If Duarte, well, he would be fine as a bench filler role who might get inspired by a new opportunity to get his NBA career started, because at this point, for a guy like Chris Duarte, it's very unlikely to see him get any other opportunities other than a two-way roster spot. And the New York Knicks, they've liked Chris Duarte for a while now. It's someone they've been interested in for a very, very long time. So it does make sense that the Knicks would bring Duarte on, who, despite being 27 years old already, is eligible for a two-way contract, which is absolutely huge when considering this. There's a bunch of different names the Knicks could go with, and we will go over one or two other guys who have also been kind of linked to the Knicks on that two-way spot. But Duarte is the guy who, to me, makes the most sense with the team. I mean, for his career, he puts up 7.5 points per game and 2.6 rebounds and 1.3 assists. And these numbers, the career numbers, they are better than his Bulls numbers. Yeah, he shot better with the Bulls, but as it was already mentioned by Edwards, it was only in 70-some-odd minutes, which is also an important thing to note. But just to take a whole look at Duarte's stats this year, well, essentially, Duarte has put up 2.1 points per game with 1.2 rebounds, and it's been all in garbage time, so it's kind of hard to trust these numbers. The defense is not really existent at all. He's not a great defender. He's a good offensive player who, yeah, can shoot the ball to league average clip, as mentioned by Edwards. But coming in, he was supposed to be a lights-out shooter. Now, Duarte had his moments in the NBA. Don't get me wrong. When he was a rookie, he averaged 13 points per game, and it was widely regarded that the Knicks made a mistake on not picking Chris Duarte, who they really wanted to get. They really wanted him at 19. Now, he did go higher than that because he started working out for other teams, and we'll get into the whole Knicks prior interest in just a moment there. But considering everything, this would be an interesting move. The Knicks already brought on Marjon Beauchamp as another member of this team on a two-way contract. Beauchamp, I believe, will be with the Knicks for an extended period of time. He put up 2.2 points and 1.2 rebounds this season, shooting 37.5% from deep, but has had a lot of good moments on both sides of the ball. He's a very talented shooter, a good shot creator, so there's a lot of reasons to believe in Marjon Beauchamp getting a longer-term chance with the New York Knicks. So obviously there's already that, but they still have to make another signing because it is pointless for them not to. With it being pointless for them not to make another signing, it would just make sense for the Knicks to go after a guy like Duarte, who will be able to fill in. He hasn't been on a two-way contract yet this season, so he could play every single game going forwards for the New York Knicks because you have 40 days of eligibility, and there's only 22 games left. So Duarte would be on the Knicks bench. He has a connection with Karl Anthony Towns. So there is a lot that rides deep when considering Chris Duarte and all that. which is something else that's important to note here. Now, on top of all that, it was mentioned by Chris Persianen that the Knicks, they did have interest in MarJon Beauchamp back in the day when he was going in the draft in 2023. The Knicks also had interest in Chris Duarte. However, since they had that 19th pick, they didn't really get a chance to draft him, so things became kind of difficult. Now the Knicks, who have Beauchamp on their team, have a chance to get another guy who they were interested in a couple drafts ago, who they believe they could make into an actually solid player, and someone they've had interest in, doing something that they've already done before. So there is a lot of noise to that, and the Knicks, their interest in Chris Duarte was pretty vast, and they almost got him. But as Mark Berman mentions here, Duarte was a top target for the Knicks in the 2021 NBA draft, but the New York Post did learn that the Knicks may not have done enough early in the draft process to secure the 24-year-old Oregon sharpshooter, who went to number 13 to the Indiana Pacers. If Duarte had received a Knicks guarantee at a certain juncture, he likely would not have worked out for other teams, but instead he did, and his draft stock rose. People close to Duarte, who was born in the Dominican Republic, were amenable to a guarantee from the New York Knicks, perhaps because of New York's robust Dominican population, as Berman mentions, which could totally be it. Duarte is actually spending time in New York now, so he's already in the city, which adds on to the likelihood that the Knicks are going to bring Chris Duarte into the team. It just makes all the sense in the world. I mean, two-way contracts for a guy who has these days of eligibility. There's no point in signing some 21-year-old. You already signed a nice young guy in MarJon Beauchamp, who's 24 years old. So you go for Duarte. You don't need a big man on a two-way contract. It doesn't make sense. So anyone who commenting Moses Brown's not eligible for a two-way contract. The Knicks would have to sign him on an outright standard contract, something that is likely to happen if they buy out DeLon Wright, which they absolutely should do, so they could sign Moses Brown and TJ Warren. We will have more on that in the coming days, and just views on a few other guys the Knicks might pick up instead, who also have been linked to the New York Knicks. So stay tuned for that. Make sure to subscribe to those. However, with Chris Duarte, this is a guy who's had a long-standing connection to the New York Knicks. So this would be absolutely huge for them. I like this signing. I think it makes sense. Duarte's shown the ability to be a solid shooter and a solid scorer in the NBA, and he's just a better player than either Jacob Toppin or Matt Ryan is, and the Knicks should just be getting as much talent as possible on this roster at this juncture of the season. That's what makes the most sense to me personally. I have a feeling most people would agree. I mean, they're a contending team. They're probably not going to find some hidden gem in the two-way contracts, more than the two hidden gems I already have in Kevin McCullough and MarJon Beauchamp. So now you sign a guy who you know is solid, who you know can hang in the NBA, who would like to be on the New York Knicks. It just makes all the sense in the world for this to be the New York Knicks move, at least at right now in time. So it depends on what we're going to see Leon Rose do. The other guy who could also be brought up is Johnny Davis, who did sign a deal with the Knicks very recently, is playing for the G League team. This season, Johnny Davis has averaged 2.4 points per game, 1.1 rebounds, and 0.3 assists, while shooting 41% from the field and 24% from deep. So the numbers are not as good as Chris Duarte's, first of all. On top of that, Johnny Davis, who is a much better defender, I might add, the Knicks want to build him up slower. The Knicks also had interest in Johnny Davis. Guess where Johnny Davis is now? The Knicks. These guys who the Knicks had draft interest in a couple of years ago keep ending up on the New York Knicks, and Johnny Davis is another explanation on why it would make a ton of sense for the New York Knicks to sign Chris Duarte. I'm convinced they are. Let me know if I convinced you. Let me know what you guys think down below. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day, and go Knicks.